One of this program's followers, Okonjo-Iweala Olatunji, asked via Twitter, what is the difference between economic growth and economic development in the Nigerian context?
It's a very good question. You don't just want economic growth, because growth per se that does not create jobs, that results in bigger income inequality, is not what you want. And you know, an economy can grow like that. Development means that as you're growing, people's circumstances and lives are also improving. And that is what we call inclusive growth. Globally now, they found that this type of just growth without the circumstances of people improving too much is what is the global thing. That's what they debated in Davos just now. That 1% of the world, of America's population, got 99% of the wealth that was created in the last 5 years. In Nigeria, yes, we have an issue with the quality. It's called the quality of growth in economics. So you don't just want to grow. You want to grow in a way that gives people jobs and lifts people up. And that is why we looked at how are we growing. And the news there is that the growth we are seeing now is not really coming from the oil sector, which doesn't create as many jobs. It's coming from agriculture, it's coming from manufacturing industry, it's coming from other areas. With that one, particularly in agriculture, improves poverty levels 3 times faster than any other sector. That is why the president said we must focus on agri, and why the minister has been harping on value chain, so that as we improve agriculture, it can create jobs all the way by doing our own processing, and it's working. Rapidly, you also need to open up other sectors that are job creating that we have not even touched. This president has driven the opening up of the housing sector. It will solve 2 things: social need, so that people can own their homes. As we're doing this, jobs are being created by this administration.
Jobs are being created, but you know, we just seem to be scratching the surface. Unemployment clearly remains a big problem. But unlike other regions where youth unemployment can be attributed to economic downturn, Nigeria's economy is growing. You tell us that all the time. The World Bank has told us that. What exactly is the problem?
Yeah, there's something that is not talked about in this country. Nigeria's economy is growing, but the population is also growing. And it's a topic we never talk about. So we are sending more and more young people onto the job market every year. And what the president said was very interesting. He said, people, I want you, when I say I'm creating jobs, to tell me how many jobs do we even need to create? So before, you know, leaders talked about creating jobs, or nobody measured what the number of jobs we need, or how many people are unemployed, so that we can know the problem we are trying to solve. This administration asked the MBS and the chief economic advisor to work on it with the economic management team. With the methodology internationally approved, we found that we need 1.8 million jobs to be created each year. Every single year, 1.8 million young people enter the job market, and nobody even knew that number. So we've been creating, the average in this administration is 1.4 million per year. That means we are close to closing the gap. With all these reforms and this diversification that is happening, when we push it, this is where we are going to come to. And I always tell people, if you are unemployed, until the day you get a job, anyone talking to you that we've created 1.2, 1.5, if it is not you personally, you have done nothing. That is the social impact and the characteristic of unemployment. And we are working on it relentlessly, and we will continue. Let us just push so we can get to that 1.8, then tackle all those who are still waiting.
You have said it's going to be a tough year. How tough is it going to be?
It is going to be a difficult year. I will not be telling the truth if I said otherwise. Why? Because our income sources have, our source of revenue has declined so dramatically. Right? Oil prices fell by 50% last year. So it will be a tough year, but there's hope. We shouldn't, and I have to explain that, because when you say there's hope, people cannot eat hope. Do you understand?
I do.
So you have to explain to them what you mean. What we must not allow ourselves to do in this country is to be put in a cycle of negativity. If
you were still at the World Bank and you were not finance minister, what austerity measures would you recommend?
No, I am here in Nigeria. I don't need to be at the World Bank.
So what are you recommending?
No, we have said it. We spelled it out completely in the budget. And I don't like the word austerity measures. Some people have quickly tried to characterize that austerity measures in order politically to try and tie it back to programs that were done by those institutions. But be that as it may.
What belt tightening measures are you recommending?
Okay, belt tightening measures we're recommending is the cut in the cost of governance. And we've spelled out, so we start with the small things that are perception heavy, such as travel, overhead, expenditures of the administration, to bigger things, you know, such as what it costs for the political office holders. Everybody across the board has to share this cost of governance, to looking at our many duplications within the administration. The states have to do this too, to try and look at that and say, can we make for a more efficient administration that saves some money from doing this? We've identified several committees, commissions that we can easily either merge or, you know, that are not underpinned by law. Where they're underpinned by law, we work with the National Assembly, and the National Assembly has indicated that they are willing to support us, because this is a time when the nation has to work together. So cutting the cost of governance.
Shouldn't we start the belt tightening from the National Assembly?
Oh, well, you know, look, this is, I think every Nigerian, no matter where, whether you're a legislator